Indian students are the largest cohort on US campuses, now at the epicenter of Donald Trump's sweeping crackdown on foreign scholars, with social media vetting as the latest hurdle introduced by the US for international students. For starters, the Trump administration has already paused all scheduled interviews for visa applications. The reason? An extensive social media vetting. So what is social media vetting? As the name suggests, social media vetting involves scrutinizing an applicant's online activity. This only to assess their eligibility for entry. Officials will review the social media profiles of prospective students to determine whether they should be allowed to study at US institutions. This initiative is seen as part of the Trump administration's wider crackdown on international students, following widespread pro-Palestine protests on American campuses last year. Meaning, your profile could be seen as problematic depending on whether or not the Trump administration approves of your political views. Let's say you have pro-Palestine posts, you'll be deemed as anti-Semitic. After all, let's not forget, it was the pro-Palestine protests that landed Harvard, an Ivy League institution, into troubled waters. So much so, all US embassies and consular sections are being sent a cable sent by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. This until fresh social media screening rules are finalized. The US State Department spokesperson, Tammy Bruce, has underlined the Trump administration's new posture.
We use every tool in our tool chest to vet anyone coming in who wants to come into this country, and in order to do so, it has to apply for a visa to gain access to our nation. We will continue to use every tool we can to assess who it is that's coming here, whether they are students or otherwise.
Earlier too, the Trump administration had imposed some social media screening requirements, but that was largely aimed at returning students who may have participated in protests against Israel's actions in Gaza. Most importantly, the pause leaves thousands of Indian applicants in limbo. This as peak admission season is approaching. Sample this. According to the US Embassy in 2024, India became the top source of international students for the first time since 2008 to 2009. According to the embassy, over 331,000 Indian students were studying in the US, a figure overtaking China. From stepped-up social media vetting to surprise terminations of student and exchange visitor program, a series of measures is reshaping how and whether non-US citizens can study in America. Most recently, the US Embassy in New Delhi had warned current students that even minor attendance lapses can cost them their status. That means if Indian students in US skip classes or leave the program without informing their school, their student visa may be revoked and they may lose eligibility for future US visas. Remember, the Department of Homeland Security has already revoked Harvard's authority to enroll foreign students. This is citing failure to hand over protest-related records. It happens as Secretary Kristi Noem accused the Ivy League school of perpetuating an unsafe campus environment that is hostile to Jewish students, promotes pro-Hamas sympathies, and employs racist diversity, equity, and inclusion policy. Data shows that Harvard has nearly 10,000 people in its international academic population, with nearly 7,000 international students. And that, for your information, comprises a sizable amount of 27.2% of Harvard's enrollment in the current academic year of 2024 to 25. A nationwide injunction has at least temporarily blocked US Immigration and Customs Enforcement from detaining or removing students solely over visa status. But needless to say, the climate remains tense. According to the New York Post, at least 4,000 student visas were cancelled in Trump administration's opening months alone. Rights groups counter that many cases involve minor offenses or none at all. What's especially concerning is that it's Asians, especially Indians, who have been disproportionately affected.